great benefits and opportunity for growth, Boucher is the place for you.
At Boucher, we ride with you every mile.
Suit up for the $800,000 Sports Car Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. April through May, score free play, cash, one of 4 new Toyota GR86s or a new Toyota Supra. Play with your club card to earn entries, 5 times the entries on drawing days, and when the Milwaukee Brewers play at home. Got what it takes? Slugger, only at Potawatomi. For more details, visit paysbig.com/sportscar. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
Members of LIUNA are the most diverse trade in Wisconsin's construction industry, partnering with over 900 contractors to meet the demand for a skilled, safe, and productive workforce. Their union members construct roads, bridges, buildings, sewer and water lines, and energy infrastructure. Feel the power of a career as a member of the Wisconsin Laborers District Council, where you will earn great union wages, health care, and a pension. Learn why you are worth so much more by visiting liunawisconsin.org. LIUNA Wisconsin.org.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan.
Hi, Jan. I just adopted a new best friend, and I'm looking for a Toyota so we can make the most out of summer.
With a new RAV4, you can take your pup for a drive up the coast. You can take a Prius to the park for some tug-of-war. Or you can take a Tundra to kayak at a remote lake.
One problem, Jan.
Oh?
My new best friend's a cat.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Get up! Get out of here and go!
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ. It's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field. Here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Oh, what a night for Robert Gasser. Welcome to the show. The Southpaw making his big league debut. He was terrific every step of the way. The Brewers win 11-2. Gasser 6 shutout innings, only allowed 3 base runners all night, and a fun moment here as I'm Dominic Cotroneo, live from American Family Field. The entire Gasser ticket package is out on the field right now, taking photos with Robert, the family, the friends. What a cool moment. They're all taking photos. He's had a group photo. They're on the first base line right now. Plenty of hugs. Lots of tears, I can imagine, as well. It's a really, really special day just to make your big league debut. But to also have it in front of everybody is incredible. Right now, I want to be pleased to be welcomed Jerry Augustine into the program. Augie, as I look to your big league debut on September 9th, 1975, you didn't start the game. You made your first start a week later on the 16th. But what do you remember about that first start, getting the pitch here at County Stadium just behind us here?
Nerves. How about being able to control your nerves and come in the game and be able to throw strikes? And I tell you, that was just so impressive tonight. You look for the opportunity. You have that dream of always being able to pitch in the big leagues. And I remember what happened to me on the September 9th. Well, September 8th, I warmed up 6 times and I didn't get in the ball game. That finally I got in the following night and got in the ball game. But it was being able to get on, step on the field, stand on that mound, and it didn't make any difference whether it was 2 people in the stands or 50,000. It was that opportunity to stand on a major league mound was so special. So it's something you'll never forget. It was so impressive. What Gasser did today was just fantastic. He went out there and he looked at what you did. His demeanor on the mound was, from the first pitch, was exactly the way he wanted as a young pitcher, and he executed his game plan. Just a great outing and a real tribute to a young guy to come out in the mound and just give you a good, solid, quality start.
I mean, nothing was hit hard at all tonight. No walks, 1 hit batter. That one got away from him against Ivan Herrera. And then he ended his outing with 17 consecutive strikes. After Burleson was in a 1-1 count, the streak started from there. Foul ball, fielder's choice, 0-1 fly out, 0-1 fly out, 0-2 fly out, 0-2 ground out, 0-2 strikeout. That's how his day ended for Robert Gasser. Those nerves were gone very quickly, Augie, and we saw what the Brewers saw in Robert Gasser. And his stuff is effective in the zone. He's not a nibbler. He's not trying to get you to chase, which he has that ability to do so. But I thought he was especially commanding the strike zone, right? There's a difference between control and command. And today, the command was all the way through the roof.
There's no question. I think the one thing that's impressive when you watch a delivery, you watch different guys have different deliveries, and everybody's unique. And I think he does a couple things real good. He has a nice quality delivery. He's nice and smooth. He gets in a good position with his delivery, and he executes the pitch. But I think he throws a little bit across his body, just a little bit. And by doing that, you hide the ball. And I thought that's one thing. I think the ball got on some of the hitters. He's not a guy who throws in the upper 90s. He's not one of those guys, but he's what they call sneaky quick, where the ball jumps on you. And I'll tell you what, I thought his delivery was just consistent all game long, never changed, stayed in his good, solid delivery. He executed his pitches. And, it's like you said, you get in that groove, and all of a sudden you get that relaxed, and you get patience. You let the game come to you a little bit. And I think that's one thing that Gasser did tonight. After he got through that first inning, you could see him walk off, and the umpire was checking his hand, and he was smiling. Getting that first inning on your belt, you start feeling like, I can do it here. I'm here. I look up in the stands. My family's in the stands. How exciting. And from there, he just settled down and he threw the ball extremely well.
I look at some of the stuff today with Gasser and his breakdown. He threw majority breaking balls today. 46% of his 79 pitches were his slider, a.k.a. sweeper. He got 7 whiffs on that pitch alone. I actually had tallied 8, but I digress. He had 10 whiffs on the day. He had a great whiff rate overall. For a big league debut, and to face that lineup of righties in there, too, with Goldschmidt, Arenado, and Herrera. I mean, Herrera managed to get on base twice, but he held Goldschmidt and Arenado to a combined 0 for 4 between them. And quite frankly, Gasser, I think another piece of his success is he's not afraid to pitch inside to righties. And I thought the big moment for him was in the 4th inning. The game was still very much in the balance. Obviously, it was scoreless in the first 3 innings. But I thought that 4th inning, second look at 2, 3, 4 in the order of Nootbaar, Goldschmidt, and Arenado. I circled that as saying, okay, this is where we find out what kind of a pitcher he really is. He was new the first time through, but big league hitters are able to make adjustments. He makes a great battle with Nootbaar, strikes him out on 8 pitches. Goldschmidt grounds out softly to second base. Arenado grounds out back to the mound. And the reason why he was successful in getting weak contact is because he wasn't afraid to go inside to those righties, in my opinion. What did you see from that?
Well, I thought right from the beginning of the game, that's one thing he showed. He showed that he was going to pitch on the inside. And, the one thing he does, a lot of lefties, when they pitch on the inside, if you can get that ball in on guys and show the guys that you can throw strikes in there, they have to be aware. It opens up the strike zone. But not only did he do that, we talked about how he used his breaking ball tonight. He used that cutter on the inside, or slider, whatever you want to call it, on the inside part of the plate. He jammed guys with that. But every time he went to the outside part of the plate, Dom, if you can remember, what did he do? He made a quality pitch on the outside part of the plate. That means that he was dominant on the inside, making a good quality pitches on the outside. You got to cover a whole plate. And when you get guys, I don't care who the hitters are, you can dominate both sides of the plate with your fastball, and then use that cutter and the serve and every other pitch that you do have. You're going to be effective. But I just thought his demeanor about being able to pitch in early in the game to say, you know what, I'm coming in, I can throw strikes on the inside part of the plate, be aware of it. But then when he went to the outside part of the plate, he always made quality pitches, and it really opens up that inside part of the plate, and it did for him tonight.
855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620 is the phone number if you want to call in, if you want to text in. This one, Mason from Stevens Point, just checking in. Wanted to formally welcome Robert Gasser to the show because, my goodness, he looks great off the mound. This one from Josh in Milwaukee. There are so many superlatives for tonight's game. Gasser was not afraid. He seems to pitch, not throw. And the offense came through in a big way in the 5th, and all with 2 outs. Let's keep her moving. And finally, Doug, I said I couldn't wait to see Gasser, and he didn't let me down. This team is now a National League contender, not just a division contender. We can unpack a little bit later. It is only May 10th, Doug, but we have made it this far into the program, and we haven't even mentioned what the offense did. 11-2 the victory tonight. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620, right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Is it time to give your home a new look?
Absolutely.
Get personal care from Adair. Adair Floors and Remodeling has a design team ready to help with all flooring and remodeling needs, including tub-to-shower conversions. Want to create your dream kitchen, including cabinets? How about the rec room? Adair Floors and Remodeling has been family-run in Franklin for over 65 years. For floors and all home remodeling needs, get personal care from Adair. Adair Floors and Remodeling, South 27th Street in Franklin, and online at adairfloors.com.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy. I'm getting better sleep. I've been told from my wife I don't snore, but honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
You're listening to Brewers Extra Innings, presented by Fifth Third Bank on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Jerry Augustine is with us as well. Brewers win 11-2. This is Brewers Extra Innings. We got to talk about the offense, because the offense obviously broke out in a big way after all of the concerns with runners in scoring position. They're not over yet. One game doesn't solve everything. But seeing what they did tonight with runners in scoring position, they scored 11 runs, Augie, without a home run. They're one of the best teams at baseball at winning games without needing the long ball. Now, they have the long ball. They have top 4 total in the National League in home runs hit. And yet, now, tonight, that makes it a total a 8-3 record this season. The Brewers are 8-3 when they don't hit a home run, and they hung 11 on the board today. That is a dynamic offense.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? You look at tonight's game, and we just finished a series against Kansas City where Kansas City kind of took it to us. They did everything they had to do, and we didn't swing the bat. We were bad with runners in scoring position, and it came out of that series going like, we lost 2 series in a row. We're going up against an opponent in our own division. We got to turn it around. And they did that. Last night you saw it. But, you bring up 4 names. You can talk about 4 names in these last 2 games. And when you look at the 4 names, all you got to start with Contreras, Yelich, Adames, and Hoskins. Those guys played integral parts in the last 2 days in the offense of getting things going, running the bases, hitting the ball to all fields, scoring runs. When you look at what those guys did, I believe when you looked at them, they were like 8 for 14 today, and they scored 7 runs and had 5 RBIs. When you get production out of those main guys in the middle lineup, everybody starts swinging the bat. It's contagious. And I thought the last 2 nights, if you had to say something about the Brewers, where they need to go, what they need to have, you put down those names of Contreras, Yelich, Adames, and Hoskins. When those guys go and perform, it just seems like everything falls into place. In the last 2 nights, it sure did.
Well, let me throw one more name at you to maybe include into this, and that's Bryce Terang. We need to be serious about what Bryce Terang is doing right now. He goes 1 for 4 tonight with another double and another run scored and another stolen base. Bryce Terang up to the second numbers. He is hitting .312. His on base is .380. His slugging is .440 with only 2 homers. He's got 10 doubles now, an .819 OPS, and this is a real sample size now. This is 140 plate appearances. You're getting to a point now, you can say you're about 1/5 of the way into the season. That's a real tangible number that you can say, okay, it'll probably regress a little bit, but that's a large enough sample to say it's in there for Bryce Terang, and his propensity to use the opposite field has continued to impress me. His 10th double tonight, which is a new career high already because he had 9 all of last season. He had 9 doubles in 448 plate appearances a year ago. Tonight, in 140 plate appearances, he got his 10th. That is a quantum leap.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it when you talk about Bryce Terang. Last year he usually had some problems. He would get that ball up and away. He'd fight it off, and you throw the ball in. He couldn't quite handle it. his patience at the plate this year has been so good. He's willing to take a walk. He's willing to go deep in the counts if you have to do. That's what you want of a leadoff hitter. He runs the bases. He steals the bases. Is the best on the ball club and what he can do. And that's a really important part. I know, Dom, you had talked about that last week. You talked about him leading off. I think he's the guy in the position that, you have to let him work himself through things. Is it all going to be great? No. But he has shown propensity this year to get on base, to do the little things you have to do to be successful. And, if there's one guy that has been able to use the whole field, you talked about his doubles. How do you get doubles? You get doubles by using the whole field, taking what you're given, going deep in the counts, being patient, let the ball come to you. And he's done that. And I'll tell you what, if there's a bright star in this lineup, and we got a lot of bright stars in the last 2 days, I'll tell you, Bryce Terang, you got to think about him and what he's doing in that leadoff spot. He's been very good.
And just looking at some other numbers here that has very quietly kind of gone under the radar here. When we look at, I know WAR is a bit of a controversial statistic, and a lot of people don't buy into it, but Bryce Terang, coming into tonight, is already nearly a 2 WAR player just this season. He's at 1.8. That's in the top 10 in the National League right now. I don't think we actually realize this dude's having one of the best seasons in the National League, not just on the Brewers. The dude's still hitting over 300. He got his 15th stolen base of the season tonight, stealing third base, catching the Cardinals napping. And this is a guy that is now going to be in the leadoff spot, seeming for the future. He struck out once tonight. It was his first time actually striking out in the leadoff spot. Or I beg your pardon. He struck out. No, that is right. He didn't strike out in Game 1 against Kansas City. He didn't strike out yesterday against St. Louis. And today was the first time he struck out in leadoff spot. He's putting bat to ball, and he doesn't need to hit 1,000,000 miles an hour off the bat. But the point is, when he hits it square, he's generally going to end up on second base, whether it's a single and a stolen base or just a straight-up double.
Right, it's understanding the game. I think one thing, what you want about your leadoff hitter, and I can date back to Paul Mahler being in that leadoff spot, depending on what the situation of the game is, he would take advantage of that situation. Those are a lot of traits that I'm seeing out of Bryce Terang and what he's been able to do. But I really like the way he's been patient at the plate, taking what he's given, running the bases. You can see the confidence. You can see him learning that part, that struggles that he had last year, taking the struggles that he had last year and what he had to do to improve, and taking this past winter and saying, here's how I have to improve. Here's what I have to do. He's taken those on the educational part, but then been able to go in and do them on the field. And when you can do that and be successful, you're going to have a start to a great year. And there's no question, like you said, he's having one of the best years in Major League Baseball, one of the best second basemen in all of baseball. Not only because of his swing in the bat, but because of the way he feels the ball. But he's a guy who's really been a force, and he might be the perfect guy to be that leadoff guy for the Brewers.
Other guys to not lose sight of what they did today. Christian Yelich, another great day at the plate. 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, and the squeeze bunt. What a beautiful, perfect bunt up the third base line. They had brought in Liberatore because opponents coming into tonight were just 2 for 25. Left-handed opponents were just 2 for 25 against Matthew Liberatore this year. And what did Christian Yelich do? You know what? Now's a good time for a 2-out squeeze, see what happens. And he paints the chalk, hits the bag, scores a run, and that really opened the floodgates in the 5th inning. The Brewers were only up 2-0 heading into the 5th. They had already added a run, or sorry, they had not yet added a run because of that 2-out rally. They had a man on second and nobody out. All of a sudden, Bowers steals second base. He ends up scoring on the Terang double to left. Then Contreras draws a walk, puts men on the corners to set the stage for Yelich's bunt, and then all heck broke loose. Adames a 2-run double, Hoskins an RBI single, and you blink, and the Brewers are leading 7-0. A big 5th inning, I think, without a home run, was the moment the Brewers need, right? You see guys start to press and really feel like, gosh, we can't get that hit, we can't get that hit. And maybe in a way, Terang's jam shot double to score Bowers was that first hit, but the Christian Yelich bunt really, really released the valve for the Brewers in my eyes.
Well, you look at that inning and you look at what they've done. They did so many things in that inning. The stealing bases, the jam shot for the double, scoring a run, the bunt. Yelich's bunt, I thought, was key. And that's just understanding. This is a team that you're seeing doing some great things under Murph. They're trying to see what they can do to get things run, keep that line moving. They talk about get the next guy an opportunity to do something positive, and that's the thing we've seen out of this ball club. They do so many things, and I thought that fifth inning when they scored the 5 runs, you look at what happened that inning. So many neat things were done. They did it without the home run. That's what we like to see, scoring runs, manufacturing runs, but being able to do so many different things, running bases really well, but the bunt I thought was really a key. It really kind of broke open the game, and the Cardinals couldn't recover from there on.
Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank with a local Milwaukee team. Fifth Third Bank also knows how to hit it out of the park. They've been serving businesses in the area for nearly 15 years, offering industry-specific expertise and local decision-making capabilities, all to help your business succeed. This is commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Before we take a break, I want to get to a couple of texts here. This one, the Brewers have been competitive with the good teams, aside from the last 2 against the Yankees, and seem to have been whomping bad teams. Are these the first 2 St. Louis games indicative of the Brewers being good, or are the Cardinals really bad? We can unpack that coming up in just a moment as well. Also want to get to the phone lines. Doug in Baraboo. Doug, welcome back on the program. You're live on Brewers Extra Innings.
Yeah, good evening, guys. You got to take your hat off to the pitching staff, Murph and Hook. I mean, they're like magicians. All the stuff they've gone through with the injuries and sending guys back and forth down to AAA. I think tonight puts us under ERA under 4, and once you start going in that direction, I think that's a very good sign. And then, Dom, you mentioned that home run thing. It's surprising that you don't think they have that many home runs, but they do. They're like second or so in the National League. I think it's because a lot of different players are hitting the home runs, which is just kind of a bonus to what they're actually playing as far as people want to call it small ball or whatever, but, getting on base, stealing bases, and that type of thing. And this Gasser tonight, this is really exciting to a young guy like that be able to pitch and help us out.
I agree entirely. Thanks for the call there, Doug. And when it comes to the home run note, and this is what we'll wrap up this segment with, Augie, they're still 6th in baseball with 47 home runs. And, a note that popped up today, when you combine Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, Jordan Walker, they all have a combined 5 home runs this year for the Cardinals. The Brewers have 5 guys with at least 5 home runs. It's a whole different ballgame right now with the Brewers being able to both hit for power and have some bat to ball and have some speed.
That goes by their approach. You got to like them. We all go back. We talk about slowing down the game, taking what you're given, hit the ball to all fields. There's some games that we see that they'll hit the ball the opposite way and they'll score runs and getting it. That's part of the game. And, we talked about runners in scoring position where you're going to struggle at times, but they're still hitting around 280 with runners in scoring position. And what they're doing is they're going to the plate and they're taking in that bat. And if they see someone challenge you early in the count, they're going to be aggressive and they get their pitch. They're going to drive the ball to the ballpark. And you just got to be impressed by what this ball club is doing up and down the lineup. And, I named the 4 guys before that you really count on, but it's up and down the lineup with the Turangs and, you look at it with the Perkins and Bowers and these guys coming and doing different things to help this ball club win. And you do well when you're patient. You do well when you slow the game down. You do when you go up and you say, hey, this guy's going to try to get me out. Being prepared to go up and do the best you can to help your ball club is always important. But this ball club is really relaxed. Everybody's a part of it. It doesn't make any difference whether you start the game or you're coming off the bench. Everybody's a part of every game, and that's what's so important. And that's why you're seeing this ball club playing so well.
All right, we're up against the break. Got to take it. We'll be back with one more segment with Jerry Augustine. Brewers Extra Innings here on your home of the Brewers after an 11-2 victory, 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today. He told us to load 4 yards into his 8-foot bed, but we knew that 3 full, honestly measured yards were going to fill his truck bed to the rim. After we proved that, he told us the other guys have been telling him he's been getting 4 yards in there for years. Honest measurements and honest folks who just want to do you right. So you come back. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here. Join us July 22nd through the 28th for the world's greatest aviation celebration. Enjoy a week featuring thousands of aircraft and see the legendary Canadian Forces Snowbirds who will be in attendance this year. EAA AirVenture Oshkosh is happy to offer free youth admission for those 18 and under, supported in part by the Boeing Company. Bring the whole family. EAA AirVenture Oshkosh, July 22nd through the 28th. For more information and to buy tickets, visit airventure.org.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Welcome back. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Brewers win 11-2. Fun night at the ballpark. 855-616-1620. 855-616-1620. Brewers Extra Innings is also brought to you in part by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Spring in Wisconsin means it's time for your annual AC tune-up. Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical has you covered. You can save $25 on an AC preventative maintenance call through the end of the month. You can schedule your appointment today at CiderSeider.com. Augie, the question there posed on the text line really made me ponder a little bit. Are the first 2 games against the Cardinals indicative of the Brewers being good, or are the Cardinals really bad? And judging teams based on their quality of opponent and their strength of schedule and all that, I think is a double-edged sword, in my opinion, because, I look at what the Twins just did, right? They just had that 12-game winning streak with 7 of them, or 6 or 7 of them were against the White Sox, and then the other ones were against the Angels, and then the Red Sox. It's just like, well, if they went like 8-4 like any regular team would, nobody would have batted an eye. And then even in those 4 losses, people would be freaking out, like, oh my gosh, you lost to the White Sox? Are you kidding me? Whereas it's a lose-lose where it's like, oh, you're beating a bad team. It doesn't count. Like, yeah, it counts. It absolutely counts. The Brewers are not only beating them, they're beating them to a pulp. They're outscoring them 34-9 in the season series. They have outplayed them. They have outwitted them. They have more talents on the field. They are better at virtually, right now this season, I'm not saying careers, they are better at every single position on the field. Every single one of them. And they're doing what they're supposed to do against a team that's not as good as them. I'm sorry for the harsh words to Cardinals fans, but I don't think I'm really that far off here, Augie, am I?
Well, the Cardinals, when you come into the season, they're projected to be fighting. A lot of them picked the Cubs and the Cardinals to win the division. Brewers would be down the line as low as 4th and all this. The Brewers never paid attention to that. They just went out and they just do the job. But it's amazing when you look and you see what this lineup is and how good that St. Louis Cardinals lineup was supposed to be. They're really struggling in offense. They're having a hard time scoring runs. And then they go out and they sign some pitchers and hopefully going to get the rotation back in order. And they did that. And they do have a good rotation. But their bullpen has really been struggling. I don't think the Cardinals, after last year, I think they just have not been able to put it together. Hopefully they may put it together and really have a respectable season. But when you look at the difference, the way this season has been approached by the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers, it's totally opposite. The Brewers look confident. Everybody on that team, they know what they have to do. They know that their pitching staff is good. They're going to go out. Their bullpen is solid. And you look at the Cardinals, and like you said, there's not one phase of the game that you look at between the Cardinals and Brewers where the Cardinals can compete with the Brewers right now. And I think that's where the Cardinals are struggling. They just haven't found their little niche. They haven't found their lineup the way it's going right. But then you look at the Brewers, and I say, yeah, you look at Murph. He's done a great job with this young ball club. And you look at Chris Hook and Jim Anderson have done an outstanding job with his pitching staff. But I'll tell you what, Matt Arnold constructed a ball club that is going out there and playing hard. He's got confidence in young players. And then what's a real credit to this organization is they're seeing young players step up like Rob Gasser did tonight and pitch very well for them. And that's what you need in order to be successful. And I think when you look at them, they're very positive. Everybody believes in each other. They're all great teammates. They're all for one thing, and that's going out to win a pennant. And the Brewers are set in that direction. They're playing very good baseball right now.
And I look at it. I look at their current young players on the squad. Mason Wynn's going to be a solid player. He's got too many tools to not be. He's only 22 years old. He's going to be very good for them. Victor Scott got optioned. He's one of the fastest guys on the planet, but you can't steal first base, as the Brewers learned with Esteury Ruiz in 2022, and they managed to flip him for Yoel Payamps and William Contreras. Lars Nootbaar has not been off to a great start. Alec Burleson has not been off to a great start. But at some point, a start becomes a trend. It's not a start by the end of this month. You know, we're 6+ weeks into the season. By Memorial Day, you know who you are. And quite frankly, if the Brewers can claim this series tomorrow or on Sunday, or even worse yet, you know, a sweep. I'm not declaring the Cardinals dead yet. But if the Brewers win this series or even sweep them, we might have to deliver a eulogy on Sunday, man. This is not the Cardinal way. They had a guy make a base running mistake getting doubled off on a soft line drive to second base. Have you ever seen a Cardinal team make a silly mistake like that in a second inning of a game? It is not Cardinal baseball right now. That's why I'm comfortable of being able to say, I don't think they're going to get anything going. I know they have talented all-stars on their team, but this has been a trend. 1 year is an outlier, but this has been like the last 2.5 years that this has been bubbling, and now it's arrived.
They haven't been able to adjust, and they picked up the starters that they have, and they do have a good starters. You got to look at the starters. Veterans, they're smart, they're good pitchers, but they have not been able to get the goal. They're giving up a lot of runs. Defensively is probably their bright spot, where they've played some really good defense, I think. But when you look at everything other phase of the game, it just seems that they have not been able to score runs. And when you've got a team like this and you don't have Goldschmidt and Arenado swinging the bat along with Nootbaar and those guys, Carlson was supposed to be a great young player, and getting him started off along with Wynn, they can't get things rolling. It shows. And then you look at the Brewer Ball Club, Brewers just go out and they play ball and they play hard. They're going to play hard for 27 outs. And it's not only the guys on the field, it's the guys on the bench, because if they're called upon, they're going to go out. But they're solid, and they're all solid in one direction, and that's going out playing hard every day, trying to win every series by taking one game at a time. And I think the Brewers are doing a really good job at that. The younger players are buying into what you need to do, and they're getting that from the great inside the clubhouse from those veteran players. And now, like you've seen the last 2 days, those veteran players have really stepped up and swung the bat well.
And that middle of the order is really scary when it's in full strength, like you mentioned earlier in the program. But I guess to come around and answer the question, I think the Brewers are doing what they're supposed to against teams that aren't as good as them, and they're beating up on them pretty bad with an 11-2 victory tonight. Jerry Augustine, appreciate you as always, my friend. We'll chat again at least one more time this weekend, and appreciate your insight as always. What a fun night.
Oh, it's a great night. Anytime you beat the Cardinals, it's great. And playing again, we talk about playing inside division. You got to play well. I'll tell you what, the Brewers are playing the Cardinals very well. They're playing well inside that division. And I'll tell you what, it'll be a fun game with Freddie pitching tomorrow. Hopefully he can sew up the series win and maybe even go for a sweep.
It would be a lot of fun. Jerry Augustine, former Brewers pitcher, joining us here on WTMJ. Take care, Augie.
Take care.
All right, thanks for joining us. All right, we got more to talk about. We're going to hear from Pat Murphy a little bit later. We're also going to hear from the man of the hour, Robert Gasser, as he caught up with Josh Mauer on the postgame show earlier tonight as well. Brewers win 11-2, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620 if you want to join us tonight right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Are you in need of expert exterior renovations? Look no further than Ridgetop Exteriors. For over 22 years, we've been the trusted name in roofing, siding, windows, doors, and gutter replacements.
I couldn't be happier with the new roof Ridgetop Exteriors installed. It's like having a brand new home.
The team at Ridgetop Exteriors made upgrading my siding a breeze. Quality work and friendly service.
With a track record of excellence, we take pride in transforming houses into dream homes. Visit us today at ridgetopexteriors.com for a free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, your trusted local affordable partners.
All Brewers games are on sale now. Coming up, a divisional battle with the Cardinals Thursday, May 9th through Sunday the 12th. Make your Saturday night plans for Star Wars night. Then take home a Mother's Day Brewers belt bag giveaway at the game on Sunday the 12th. Presented by American Family Insurance. Don't miss out on a weekend of rivalry baseball. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us, and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this: who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated, might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated, because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job. And that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
You can give them the same old, or you can surprise them with something unique from St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Store at a bargain. Almost new, but really cool. The thing about thrift store gift shopping is that you never know what you'll find, but when you find it, you'll know it's right. That's what makes it fun. And if you just can't choose, gift cards are always available at St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers win. They're now 23-15. Cardinals lose. They're now 15-23. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. 11-2 the final today. Just going down the box score here real quick. Again, to read Robert Gasser's line, it makes me smile. 6 shutout innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 1 hit batter, 4 strikeouts. 3 of them were Lars Nootbaar. The Brewers went 8 for 15 with runners in scoring position. The Cardinals went 0 for 2. They are batting under 200, the Cardinals are, with runners in scoring position. When you think it's going bad, trust me, it can go worse. They're hitting 195 with runners in scoring position. Other guys down the box score here. Willie Adames, 3 for 4 with 3 doubles and 2 runs batted in. Rhys Hoskins, a pair of hits, including a pair of RBIs. Terang had the double and an RBI and a run scored and a stolen base. William Contreras drew a pair of walks, scored 3 times. Jake Bauers, a pair of hits, including a triple, which probably should be a single and will probably be changed. But what a night. I mean, what more could you ask for? The Brewers held the top 4 starting lineup of Fermin, Nootbaar, Goldschmidt, and Arenado to a combined 0 for 15. Then Gorman came off the bench and hit a home run off of Kevin Herget. And don't lose sight of what Kevin Herget did tonight. Herget earns the old school save, going 3 innings as the only guy out of the bullpen. With Yoel Payamps on the bereavement list right now, which is why Jansen Junk is up here for the time being. Giving them a full day off, that was massive. The whole leverage bullpen got a day. So tomorrow, not only do you have Freddie coming off of an extra day of rest because of the suspension, 5 days, you've got your 9th inning guy available in McGill. You've got Brian Hudson sat, ready to go. He has sat for the last 2 games. You've got Hobie Milner ready to go. You've got Elvis Peguero ready to go. You've got Junk if you need length for some reason, but you've also got your horse, Freddie Peralta, on the mound tomorrow. So I'm fired up for how everything's stacking up for them. I'm also fired up to hear from Robert Gasser. He caught up with Josh Mauer earlier on the post-game show after his tremendous first start in the big leagues, 1-0 and a perfect 0.00 ERA. Here is Robert Gasser with Josh Mauer earlier.
The 11-2 Brewers and Robert Gasser, the man of the hour. He is on with us as we welcome you back to the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show. He's got the headset on down by the clubhouse. Robert, have your feet hit the ground yet over the last hour or two? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm honestly starting to come down to earth a little bit and realize, what a good day I had and how much fun I had out there.
Tell me about it. Were you nervous at all when you went out there for the first inning?
Yeah, a little bit. Honestly, most of the nerves were, the build-up today. Just sitting in the hotel room thinking about, potential outcomes. But, once I was out there doing, in my routine, it felt normal.
You're facing Paul Goldschmidt. You're facing Nolan Arenado. These are guys that I'm sure you've watched on TV for years, but now you're going up against them in the opposing batter's box. What was it like to go up there against a major league lineup with those kind of names for the first time?
Yeah, it's fun. Honestly, it's a challenge. For so long I've been practicing and playing just for a moment like this, and to go out there and have a good game was awesome. Contreras back there, I had a lot of faith in him, and I don't think I shook off once tonight. So I was just trusting him, and he knows hitters really well. So, yeah.
I was going to ask you about your command. 79 pitches, 55 of them were strikes. You didn't walk anybody. Robert, did that even maybe surprise you a little bit? How did you keep your emotions and your anxiety so much in check that you were able to throw so many good quality strikes?
Yeah, it's honestly something I've been working on for the past 2-3 years. With the coach, pitching coach in AAA, Jeremy Accardo, he's been super helpful in just my development as a pitcher, and just being in the zone and trusting my stuff in the zone to get outs.
What were the reactions like in the dugout from your teammates here when you came back in after each of those scoreless innings that you kept piling up?
They honestly didn't say a whole lot. I got a couple pats on the butt, but other than that, it was like, they just let me do my thing. Afterwards, once they knew I came out, I had a lot of handshakes and a lot of good jobs, so it was good to have that.
Was there any thought about trying to lobby to get a seventh inning, or you knew you were good after 6 2-hit shutout innings?
Obviously you want to go longer, but we got a good bullpen, and it was the right time.
Robert, I know you've got a lot going on. Congratulations, and thanks for sticking around with us for a few minutes.
Thanks, guys.
Robert Gasser, how about that big league debut? 2 hits, that's all, in an 11-2 Brewers win. We appreciate him taking some time to visit with us.
Josh Mauer earlier here on Brewers postgame. Well, you've heard from the man. How about what the manager thought about it? That's coming up next here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
Is your business looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been looking forward to the future and helping businesses shape what's next for 165 years, and for the last 15 here in Milwaukee. They offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making capabilities, and extensive experience to help navigate the complexities of a constantly changing business market environment. With your business in mind, commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
For the ultimate sports betting experience, get in the game at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Unleash your inner champion with dozens of betting kiosks, a VIP deck, high-end bar, first-class restaurant, broadcast booth, a 2,000-square-foot video wall, and more. It's a sports fan's paradise, 24/7. Bet above the rest. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Visit the website for more. Must be 21 years old. All bets must be made on site.
The deeper the hole, the more damage you're going to cause, especially if you're driving around with low tire pressure.
We're talking about potholes, and if you're not careful, they'll spring up out of nowhere and bite you right in the keister.
We've fixed broken ball joints, broken control arms, blown struts, damaged wheel alignments.
You name it, we fixed it. That wheel alignment is an adjustment of your suspension, which is a system that connects your car to its wheels.
And when your alignment's off, you get uneven, premature tire wear, and we have a fix for that too.
If a pothole has bitten you where it hurts, come to Richlands for a professional evaluation by one of our ASE certified technicians.
And at the very least, we'll make sure you have the right amount of air pressure in your tires.
And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
Duo for Service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service. Such a refreshing change. Richland's.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Now, more Brewers Extra Innings presented by Fifth Third Bank on WTMJ.
One more thing, looking at the standings here on the Cardinals and everything that's going on after today's win for the Brewers. 11-2 over the Cardinals. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. So at 23-15, the Brewers are guaranteed to remain in the tie for first, but we don't care about the standings really until July. But looking at the Cubs, they won today. They're still a half game technically within, but just difference in game totals right now. Cubs beat the Pirates 7-2. So the Cardinals find themselves currently 8 games back, 8 wins back of Milwaukee or Chicago. They have lost 6 games in a row. The Reds have lost 8 games in a row. They're clinging to a 3-2 lead right now in San Francisco, so we'll monitor that. But the Cardinals, after they're done with the Brewers, they'll go to Los Angeles to take on the Angels. So a team that's still trying to figure themselves out right now. But Boston's been playing better. They come home for Boston. Reunion for Tyler O'Neill and Oliver Marmol. Baltimore, one of the best teams in the game right now. Chicago, they're pretty darn good. Cincinnati, they should be better. I imagine they'll be back on track in the next week and a half. Philadelphia, and I don't know what to make of Houston. I mean, the next 3 weeks, there's some important series in there for the Cardinals. And oh, by the way, only 2 teams have a worse run differential in the National League than the Cardinals. They're at minus 50 for the run differential. Only the Marlins and the Rockies have a worse run differential than the Cardinals right now. The numbers ain't pretty. But anyway, that's enough beating up on the Cardinals right now. They could still split this series and make me eat crow. But how about what the manager has to think, the Brewers side of things? Here's Pat Murphy's comments after today's 11-2 win.
I'm really happy for the young man. I mean, he was disappointed he wasn't brought up last year. And it was until May that he was healthy and ready to go. And, he came in determined. He threw the ball great. The breaking ball was really good. Filled up the zone. Really happy for him. Really, really happy for him.
Murph, the hitters always say against an established pitcher, you got to get him early. Is like the opposite true, you think, for a young pitcher, that 8 pitches in the first is a springboard?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, a belief system when you're out there, you're kind of uncertain probably, and the belief system kind of kicks in like, hey, I can do this. And then, right when you think you're comfortable, things can change in 4 or 5 pitches, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you go from a terrific outing to an awful one. And I think he was really mindful of, like, staying on it. And, William, again, don't take our catcher out of it. Okay, I don't know if you write that for the Bruce Stew or whatever you write for, but
that's a good name.
The catcher is important here. You know what I mean? And William did a great job.
Along those lines, the partnership between Contreras and the young pitcher, that 9-pitch strikeout of Newbar, a veteran hitter, that's the kind of thing that can throw a young guy off. How much do you sort of lean on your catcher there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that William has a feel for what he wants to do there and guided him through it pretty well. But you got to give Gasser credit. He kept coming. He kept coming. William gave him the heads up that, hey, he's going to swing here. But yeah, Newbar's a great looking player. He's not exactly a veteran, but he's a good player.
You didn't have any walks, and you finished with 17 straight strikes. So
did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, just what does that say about, like, not just a great first inning, but to be able to maintain that kind of command?
I think Gas came with a little chip on his shoulder, like I should have been here last year in my mind, and they made me wait. And maybe that's something that we can think about sometimes. Maybe we need to make some guys wait, But Gas is a talked about guy, and as a minor leaguer, and it's great to see they get here. They pay their dues, they get here, and they got a little edge to them when they get here. I was really happy for them.
You've talked in the past about how Yelich is a good bunter. And obviously, you can't ask for more than what you got from him in that one. What makes him such an effective bunter when he decides to do that?
It's unexpected, for one. He's really, really good at it. And he knows, he has total confidence. Do the research on the Yelich bunts in the last, how many years has he been with us? So since 18?
This is 7.
Yeah. Do it in the 7 years. I bet he's got 5, and I bet the attempts versus the successful are almost 95%. The guy, it'd be a great research, because I know he's had at least one a year, and we laugh about it. You know, when are you going to do it? I say, you always wait till laugh in the air. He goes, well, it's not on the report. It's better, you know. But he said before, when he was the inning before, he said, or when he was in the hole, he said, they bring this lefty in, I'm going to bunt off him.
That was awesome. He called his shot. It was beautiful. And by the way, I already did the research for you, Murph. He is 6 for his last 8 attempts, including tonight when it comes to bunting. And they've pretty much all been either game-tying situations or, you know, in fact, one of the first ones that really popped off, 2021, was a squeeze in extra innings against the Cardinals at Busch Stadium. I tweeted it. You could find it at Dom_Catronio. All right, let's relive it. Highlights coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. So he said to me, boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders. And I said, you betcha. And he said, do you mind if I cherry pick? And I said, feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right. Because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. We're all living longer. That means in all of our families, people are facing Alzheimer's, dementia, and other memory-related issues. Azura specializes in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They're Wisconsin-based, 14 in our state, 4 in our area. I've been in their buildings. They're fantastic. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, empathy and compassion at the core. It's Azura.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com. WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for J.D. Griffiths. It was time for us. Our house was 20 plus years old, and the garage doors were getting dated. They were dinged up, and they were really hurting the value and the look of our house. That's why we called J.D. Griffiths, a local company. They've been at it in Milwaukee for more than 70 years, providing premier garage doors and building detached garages. We've got our new doors now, and they pop. I still got neighbors talking to me about it. Now, J.D. Griffiths does have an exclusive offer right now for you, the WTMJ listener. With any purchase of a new garage door, you can save $100 on your garage door opener. Just call 414-362-7222 and mention me, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead, or fill out the form at jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ to schedule your free at-home estimate and claim your deal. That number again, 414-362-7222. J.D. Griffiths.
Ready for this?
Get up!
This?
Get up!
And this?
Get out of here! Go!
Time for tonight's highlights. Here's Dominic Catronio.
A normal foe, Lance Lynn for the Cardinals, and a Major League debut, Robert Gasser for the Brewers. Game 2 of a 4-game set here in Milwaukee over the weekend. Friday Night Baseball from American Family Field. This game was pretty quiet early, but the big highlight, of course, Robert Gasser getting to check off a lot of firsts. He got one of them out of the way, 2 batters in.
Big league debut for the Brewers organization and for Robert Gasser. Swing and a miss. There's the first strikeout of Gasser's career. A breaking ball down and away, and Newbar went after it. And there's 2 away.
He even got some help from his defense in the second.
Big league debut for the Brewers organization and for Robert. He's got a lefty in Burleson up there right now. Burleson lifts one into the jumping glove of Terrain, who throws to first and doubles off Herrera. A soft liner. Terrain broke back into his left, timed it perfectly, and then as he was landing on the ground, fired it to first.
I mean, he was getting rid of that baseball as he was falling. An impressive double play for Bryce Terang. But the problem is Lance Lynn was matching the zeros. We're scoreless through 3 innings. Then in the bottom of the 4th, things finally started to pop for the Brewers. William Contreras pulled a double into left field. He can only go from second to third on a Christian Yelich single. Willie Adames flew out, put runners on second and third after a stolen base. Rhys Hoskins at the plate.
3-2 again. Line drive, base hit, left field, Rhys Hoskins. Contreras scores. Yelich is running around third. It was bobbled by Newbar. He picks it up, and the throw home is wide. The Brewers plate 2.
Josh Maurer's call here on WTMJ. Hoskins saw 17 pitches across 2 plate appearances against Lance Lynn. He gets a 2-run single to open the scoring. Then things got wacky in the 5th. Meanwhile, Robert Gasser was rolling. He still hadn't allowed a run. With 2 outs, a rally formed out of nowhere for the Brewers. Bowers, who had walked, stole second base with 2 outs. Bryce Terang was the batter.
0-1. Line down the left field line. This is a base hit for Terang. Bowers around third. He will score easily. Terang streaking towards second. He's in there with an RBI double. It's 3-0 Milwaukee.
So still this game very close. Lance Lynn getting ready to face the 3rd time through the order. He ended up walking William Contreras, though. So that put men on the corners because Terang had stole third. They go to the bullpen, left-on-left matchup. Christian Yelich at the plate, Matthew Liberatore on the mound. Liberatore, opponents were just 2 for 25 against him, left-handed opponents, that is. Yelich fixed that.
Liberatore's first pitch. Yelich bunts it up the third baseline. It is a beauty. Will it stay fair? It hit the bag! Terang scores! It's a bunt RBI single for Yelich. Everything's coming up Brewers in the 5th. 4-0 Milwaukee.
Then the merry-go-round began. Here's Willie.
1. Adames lifts one out to right. Going back on it is Carlson. It's over his head. One hops the wall. Contreras around third. He will score. Here comes Yelich to the plate. Safe! Adames to third on the throw. Brewers have broken it open with a 4-run 5th.
And they still weren't done. 3 batters in a row. Here's Rhys.
0-1. Line down the left field line. This is a base hit for Terang. Bowers around third. He will score easily. Terang streaking towards second. He's in there with an RBI double. It's 3-0 Milwaukee.
And the cherry on top, Robert Gasser finishing 6 shutout innings in style.
0-2 on Newbar. Out of the windup. The pitch. Did he go? They appeal to third. He sure did. Sean Barber says he went around. Another strikeout for Robert Gasser in his big league debut.
6 shutout frames, only 2 hits allowed. He earns the W. The Brewers added on more. 11-2, the final score tonight. Brewers will go for the series win tomorrow. We'll talk about it coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Rose Gray from Fox World Travel here to bring you exciting news. In partnership with Globus, Insight Vacations, and Avalon Waterways, our 2025 Fox Group Vacations collection is now available. Whether you want to explore Europe, Hawaii, Asia, or beyond, by land or river, our award-winning Fox Group Vacation experts have handcrafted exclusive experiences for people seeking to explore the world. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Join us and make memories to last a lifetime.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Progressive presents
10 things on a food truck owner's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Stocking the fridge, prepping the stations, finding employees that get along well, finding employees that actually do their job. Looking at you, Gary. Balancing the books, balancing the flavors, having a fresh menu and fresh produce and fresh meat, but never a fresh mouth. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
I'm on top of the world. I'm on top of the world.
All right, tomorrow, 6:10 first pitch. We're on the air at 5 with Brewers warm-up. We'll be going to the bottom of the hour or so. Then we'll hand it over to the network. The network will take over from there to get you ready for a 6:10 first pitch. Trying to figure out who the Cardinals are going to start tomorrow. It is still TBA. I imagine there's going to be a lot of roster movement given Roycroft has pitched in back-to-back games. Judging by what some folks imagine, it could be some activations off the IL. It could be some movement there. Steve Matz is still on the IL. He just got placed on it last week. You could see Kyle Gibson. You could see Miles Michaelis. I think it's going to be one of those two guys personally, but we shall see. This is a good quote from the other side, from the Cardinals side, from Ollie Marmol, courtesy of Katie Wu of The Athletic. I will wake up in the morning and I'll figure out a way to continue to have the team's back and encourage them through a really bleepy time. You can figure out the bleepy. If you guys want to get on somebody, get on me, but I'm going to continue to support the hell out of that group, Ollie Marmol. I mean, okay. That's all I feel about that. Good for a manager sticking up for his team that's not playing well. But one thing I want to talk about with The Athletic, and this is not a dig on Katie. Katie and I have been friends for a long time. And this is not a dig on Ken Rosenthal, who wrote a tremendous story today in The Athletic talking about William Contreras. Emphasis on William Contreras. So, in the push alerts, if you have the app, and Tyler Kepner helped out with this article as well, actually, I should say. The push alert on the app on The Athletic mixed up William and Wilson Contreras with a photo of William in a Brewers uniform in the thumbnail of the push alert. Reminder, writers don't write the push alerts. Editors do, and other people at HQ do that sort of thing. But quite frankly, I'm mad that I'm even addressing it. But it needs to be addressed because it's not okay. I understand everybody is human. I understand creating content is hard. Nobody is perfect, including myself. Very far from perfect. But there are certain mistakes you just can't make. In mixing up two brothers who play on rival teams, one of whom is injured, the other of whom is on an MVP case, who the story is about, putting the wrong Contreras brother in the teaser for the article is a joke. And this is why You're allowed to have a chip on your shoulder. This is what Pat Murphy talked about it today in his pregame session. These guys feel like underdogs, one of the best road teams in baseball. But they shouldn't feel like underdogs to the people and to the people that cover them and to people that are trying to share them. This is not Tyler Kepner's fault. This is not Ken Rosenthal's fault. This is not anyone at The Athletic on the writing side's fault, but it's the editing side. It's a lack of focus because the Milwaukee Brewers are in a tie for first place, virtual tie, in the NL Central. That's for real. William Contreras is an MVP candidate. Shohei's going to be in that. Mookie Betts is going to be in that. We know that. But William Contreras is one of those guys right now. Get his name right. Be respectful. Okay? Get it right. That's it. Just get it right. Anyway, it was a really good story if you want to read it. Tyler Kepner's a fantastic writer. I've had him on my program before as well. Okay, tomorrow, again, we're on the air at 5, 6, 10, first pitch. Freddie Peralta coming off the suspension, put all of that behind us. Freddie tomorrow, Bryce Wilson on Mother's Day Sunday before the Brewers welcome the Pirates into town. That'll do it for us here on the program. My thanks to Jerry Augustine for hopping on once again, and for Evan Wittallison, our producer, back in our studios. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Brewers win 11-2, and until next time, keep on swinging.
All Brewers games are on sale now. Coming up, a divisional battle with the